Almost everywhere I look online, people are just waiting for cryptocurrency markets to crash and go into, a really long bear market, okay? And a lot of people think that before this happens, we're going to see some, crazy parabolic blow off top in major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then we're going to get some crazy crash, and they're trying to figure out, hey, how do I perfectly sell the top so that I can, cash out and not have to ride this thing down into the ground? Well, that's exactly what I'm talking about in this video today as a blockchain developer who watches this space on a daily basis, and also a crypto holder myself. I watch cryptocurrency prices daily on the live streams we do on this channel. And so I want to talk about that. Like, are we actually going to get this parabolic blow off top, or are we not? Should you sell? Should you hold? Okay, so that's what I'm talking about in this video. So if you're around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you will learn how to master blockchain step-by-step start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. So last but not least, what I'm saying in this video is not designed to be financial advice for you to say this is exactly what you should do. I'm just going to tell you how I think about this space and how I'm personally navigating these markets over the next several months, okay? Let's start off with some core assumptions about what I think is going to happen with crypto over the next, several months. All right. So here's my thesis that I have in my channel. Okay. I've had this for a long time. Here's just sort of the base case. Okay. So the whole idea is that we're creating technology that's actually valuable, that has real demand for it. We see it with the Ethereum ecosystem, we see DeFi, NFTs, all this type of stuff. Okay. And all that ecosystem has a cryptocurrency Ether that's inextricably linked with that technology. Okay, basically, if you want to use the Ethereum network, you have to use ETH, and there's lots of use cases for ETH. So that's demand, all right? And as that network grows, more and more adoption, more and more users, more and more people making transactions, that the value can accrue to the cryptocurrency Ether itself in an exponential way. That's one of the main reasons I focus on Ethereum on this channel. Try to focus on fundamentals is because long term, I see that, adoption increasing over time, which stands to reason that the price of Ether would increase likewise. And so that's my base case. So my base case is that I don't see that adoption slowing down anytime soon. So generally speaking, I see cryptocurrency, just continuing to take off until that adoption starts slowing down. And my opinion, the point at which it would start slowing down is when it starts to, capture, all users out there to where it just kind of gets tapped out and starts growing more slowly and more slowly. Because right now we have about the same number of users as the internet did in 1997 or 1998, about 150 million users, and we're growing at twice the rate. And so my base case is that just continues on. So if we don't see any kind of crazy frothy activity in the crypto markets, that would mean a crypto super cycle. So again, at the end of the day, nobody knows for sure exactly what's going to happen. We have to think about things in terms of likelihood. And then you also have to adjust your thinking based upon future events. So something could happen that could change that. We could have some sort of black swan event that makes crypto no longer a thing. Highly unlikely it could happen, but that would change this thesis. The other things that are changed the thesis are just how people behave in the crypto markets, because markets tend to get irrational. And whenever they become irrational, they can basically result in something like a parabolic blow off top, which is exactly what people are looking out for. Okay. Some people are saying it's going to happen in December 2021. Some people are going to think it's going to happen later. So if you look at a chart right here, we've seen these kind of parabolic blow-off tops happen here. You see the price of Ether double in a few weeks, basically. So what happens after that is it goes down like crazy. And so why is this? Well, it's crypto's very reflexive, and you're seeing this irrationality of the markets that I'm talking about. So typically these things come when excessive leverage goes on, and you have the people who are just FOMOing into the cryptocurrency. It's fear of missing out. They're just buying to try to catch a trend. And this happens all the time. You see these booms and then a bust that takes a long time to recover. Now, this is sort of a miniature bear market for crypto. Now, we could see something way, 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 way bigger than this, okay? But I'll get that in a second. So what happens is you have these boom and busts, but the uptrend still remains the same. So if you zoom down on a massive time frame here, you could basically see the same thing happening. We had a massive boom and then a really long bust, all right? And that's because of the insane amount of return that we saw in the crypto markets and the froth, but also lack of fundamentals, in my opinion. So we're in a space where the fundamentals are way stronger now than they were in, 2017, 2018, but we still could have this massive parabolic blow off top. And so that's what I'm waiting for. I have this base case of much longer crypto adoption, but we see a massive blow off top. I probably would try to sell some crypto to try to get out of that. So what option do you have there? So this is how I'm thinking about it. Again, not financial advice for you, but how I'm thinking about this, which is if I saw the price of Ether, double in a relatively short amount of time, a few weeks or something like that, there's probably going to be some sort of correction. So we saw this in the past. But even if it doubled in a short amount of time at this level, we wouldn't necessarily see a prolonged bear market. But if the price of Ether tripled or quadrupled in a much shorter amount of time, okay, then that would be a different story when I start thinking about getting out. So you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. At least I personally don't, okay? So what do I do in that situation? Well, that might be a situation where I start, dollar cost averaging out a little bit, maybe selling a little bit along the way because I'm never going to perfectly time the top. Nobody's ever going to. And in this case, depending on my particular long-term hold strategy, again, this is not financial advice for you because you may not have the same strategy that I do, okay, is I wouldn't necessarily sell everything, right? I might save a little bit in there because you never know where the bottom's going to be because that's the real trick is if you try to sell the top, you may not buy back in. I think that happened to a lot of people because trust me, right here, there are a lot of people thinking they were going to be in some really, really, really long bear market and they didn't buy back in here and the price got back up here and they bought and watched it go down. So this happens all the time. This is definitely a situation where time in the market beats timing the market for these much smaller booms and busts. And so that's how I'm thinking about selling on some of these shorter boom and busts. Now, like I said, we saw a massive one, I'd probably try to sell more and try to do some dollar cost averaging out. But let's say that, this doesn't happen. Let's say that everyone's sitting around waiting for a Q4 2021 massive parabolic blow-off top. And crypto has a funny way of not giving people exactly what they think is going to happen. Then I think we go back to my base case of an adoption super cycle, which would lead to a crypto super cycle, assuming we don't see this massive volatility boom and bust. And if that were the case, when would I personally sell? Well, whenever I feel like it's enough to meet my long-term goals where I don't want to be exposed to that kind of risk and maybe put into something, much safer. You're in less like growth mode and you're in more just like preserving what you have mode. That's how I personally do it. But everybody else has a different financial goal and a different financial situation. And that's one of the primary reasons I don't give direct financial advice is because it's really hard to give blanket financial advice that fits everybody perfectly. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Are we in a crypto super cycle? Are we in this massive parabolic blow off top phase? Are we going to get it now? Are we going to get some sort of elongated cycle? That's another big possibility that I see people talking about is that we're still in a cycle, but we're in an elongated cycle. So the last point I'll make here is, this is going to be a pretty make or break time for crypto for a lot of models out there. Models and also theories. So there's a lot of theories that think that, Bitcoin is pre-programmed into these 4-year cycles and that, we're just going to like clockwork see the parabolic blow off top at the end of, 2021. But the time's ticking, right? Like we're about to find out if that's true or not. But based on what I've talked about here today, you can navigate that, as things unfold, and you don't have to perfectly know how the future is going to unfold because nobody really does. And if you equip yourself with resources to think for yourself, which is exactly what I try to do on this channel, you increase the likelihoods of success long term. So that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so that more people can learn about blockchain. And if you're as fast at this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? Well, you go to my YouTube homepage. You can find my free courses there. They're like Udemy courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a master shortcut entirely, I actually become a blockchain master step-by-step start to finish over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.